Well, if anybody here is a Guangzhou Charge fan, you'll be probably still sweating from the matches this past weekend, because they were in some close ones. Let's get into it. First off, I want to say this video will have spoilers, so if you haven't watched the matches yet, make sure to go do that first. And then second of all, I actually have a blog now. I'm going to be sharing the link to that in the description, where I'll be writing different articles about Overwatch or my Pokemon videos, whatever it is, that I might not cover here in these videos all the time. So be sure to check that out. So let's get into it. First off, Guangzhou Charge, Hangzhou Spark. Both of these teams were kind of needing this win this weekend. Both their fan bases are kind of on the brink of these guys need to be performed better. We need to make some changes. But the Guangzhou Charge, of course, they actually are in 5th place now, but they only have a +1 map differential, and it's kind of worrying because, yeah, 5th place is great, don't get me wrong. These guys are playing great, and they're one of the best teams in the league for a reason, but they're barely scraping by. They barely squeaked by Seoul Dynasty over the weekend. In Game 5, they actually had a 2-game lead over the Dynasty, and the Dynasty are another team that people are worried about because the Dynasty are supposed to be way, way better than they are. But they've been struggling as well, and so the fact that Seoul Dynasty were almost able to pull back in Game 5 and almost take that series was nuts. So Guangzhou Charge coming into this game against the Spark, when the Spark had just come off of a big upset against the NYXL, it looked like, there could be another potential upset here. Now, personally, I had the Hangzhou Spark rated in my top 6, I believe, at the beginning of the season, and I still think these guys have potential, and we saw that come against New York. But today, the Guangzhou Charge, we're going to have to say something else about it, until the Spark got off to a 2-0 start. And it didn't look good for the Charge, honestly. There were only a few flashes of brilliance, but I really think the turning point was on point B for Junkertown. We saw Happy really, really turn up with those headshots and those kills, and he kind of just shut the Spark in their own spawn room for a little bit on point B of Junkertown. But the Spark actually went on to win that map. So coming into Kings Row, which we're watching on screen right now, the Spark had a 2-0 lead, and it ended up coming across where the Charge were one fight away from losing on the second attack for the Spark when they got to the point C, but they were able to clutch it out just barely, and they were able to take that one game, and then after that they just kept rolling. And if I remember correctly, it was a bit more in the favor of the Charge than the Spark after that. Obviously, they won, but the Spark didn't seem to be the same as they were. And I think that comes back to Godsby and Architect, and QOQ. There's still new players in this team. And Godsby's not a new player, I'm saying. I was going to say Godsby and Architect are a new duo, and QOQ is obviously new on the team starting lineup. But Gushui and Godsby, of course, kind of, I think, the staples for this team this year of how this team's been performing. And the Spark, they're still doing well. They're top 9. They're not that far off of top 5 or anything, but they're just a few games away from really pushing into the top tiers of the standings, or from really falling into the top tiers of the standings. So I think for them, it's really important that I think Architect's a really good player. I think he can come in and make a big difference for this team now that he's on the team. But it's going to take a while for him maybe to get it all set up. A lot of teams, usually you have the whole off season to get prepared for the season, but now when you bring in these new mid-season transactions, you risk that change. And obviously that's the same thing in traditional sports. Soccer, baseball, basketball, whatever it is. Those mid-season transactions don't always go to plan, and if they do, sometimes it takes a while. It's very rare that they make such an immediate impact that it's an instant turnaround from mid-table to top of the table in a day. So I think there's definitely potential for this team. I really thought QOQ played really well for the Spark, and he actually really clutched out several fights for the Spark as they were trying to take the series. But in the end, the Charge, they took it out somehow, which is crazy that they barely held off the reverse sweep from the Seoul Dynasty a day before, and now they're the ones who get in the reverse sweep. So overall, I think it was definitely Happy though who made the difference, and obviously we see him on the Ashe here on screen. He played Widow, he played Hanzo. Those really, we talk about projectile heroes and hit scan heroes, but I want to talk about headshot heroes. The Ashe, the Hanzo, the Widowmaker, those three specifically, when the player plays them well, they are such difference makers. It's obvious to see why, but he really popped off today, and he was the difference maker. And as the team goes forward, they're top 5, but like I said, they only have a 1 map win differential. They're going to have to make some difference, and I think they're going to rely on Happy to do that, because today he really showed he could. I thought that the rest of the team didn't really stand out, honestly. None of them seemed to stand above or below the rest. They all just played, solid, especially once they started winning the rounds. But I think that's kind of what you expect from a top 5 team. Everybody's playing well, nobody's really throwing, but you have that one superstar too who really are carrying, and I think that's Happy for this team. He played super well, and it's exciting to watch because man, they win games, but they're all close. And as we follow this team along through the season, it'll be interesting to see how they do. I did not think they'd be this good. I think that one map differential is kind of more representative of what everybody thought they would be doing. But the fact they've pulled out top 5 so far, it's really exciting. They're an exciting team to watch, and obviously last season I thought it was super fun to watch them as an expansion team. And so this year they had another year to develop and improve, and I think they're showing that they deserve to be at the top of the table, but it's going to take a little bit longer before I'm super convinced. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.